Hey guys, this video is going to be how to fix a very prominent and common GPD Win 3 issue. GPD, for some reason, their quality control has always been a little bit shoddy, I think. I've had issues with pretty much all of their previous devices I've owned so far. The GPD Win 2 had an issue with the display. If you look online and do a search, a lot of people have this issue where the display ribbon cable, eventually, it gets really worn out, and then the display cable stops working, and then you don't see any image on the display anymore. You had to buy a new cable and then take apart the machine and fix it. And the GPD Micro PC had an issue with the battery, where the battery eventually just dies and you have to actually open it up and fix the battery. So for the GPD Win 3, the issue I noticed, and a lot of people online have this issue as well, is that for whatever reason, the controllers just stop working. Like when I use the switch here, it doesn't detect the controller input anymore, like the face buttons and the analog sticks, everything here, like all the gaming controls all just stop working. And on the mouse and keyboard mode, the mouse and keyboard doesn't work either. So basically the controller just stops working, and a lot of people have tried resetting the computer, like restarting it, obviously. None of that fixes the issue. And I looked online, and some people said that, well, you actually have to take the computer apart and like use alcohol or something to wipe like a certain part. But that's actually very difficult to do on this machine. So on this machine, the screws are very, very recessed. So it's actually very difficult to, for me at least, it's very difficult for me to disassemble this computer. So I had this issue on the GPD Win 3 as well. And I couldn't take apart the computer because, yeah, it's very difficult to take apart. You can see how recessed those screws are. Like, you need a very, very specific screwdriver to be able to take this apart. And some people say, yeah, it's actually a hardware issue, or the contacts or something like that. There's an issue with it. For me, actually, I didn't need to take the computer apart to fix it. I'll tell you guys what I did to fix it. It's all a software thing. You know, some people say go into the BIOS and stuff. I didn't go into the BIOS either. What I did was very simple, and I'll show you guys my fix. Now, I don't know if this fix will work for all you guys. Maybe for you guys, some of you guys, it may be a hardware issue, or it may be a BIOS thing. But for me, this is what fixed my my GPD Win 3 controller not working issue. So what I had to do is, first of all, go to Device Manager. So when you open up Device Manager on Windows, and then you look for something called USB descriptor failed or something like that. So I already fixed it. I don't see that anymore, but I think somewhere down here, it might be under the USB controllers, I think. Somewhere under here, it'll say something like USB descriptor failed. So yeah, there should be something down here that says device descriptor failed or something like that under the USB controllers. So what you have to do here is you just have to right click it, and there should be an option here to re-enable the device. So if it says device descriptor failed here, make sure you disable it, re-enable it, and then before you restart the computer, make sure you disable auto sleeping. So first of all, you make sure you do that. You disable it and re-enable it. It'll be something like device descriptor failed, so make sure you do that. Re-enable it, and then change your sleep settings. So power sleep settings, and then make sure that your computer actually never sleeps. Because when your computer sleeps, when the Win 3 sleeps, and it wakes back up again, this issue will still happen. And yeah, this is how I fix the issue permanently, is to make sure that it actually never sleeps. So yeah, in your sleep settings, just say on battery power and when plugged in, the PC goes to sleep never. So make sure it doesn't sleep. And then make sure that when you press the power button, it actually hibernates. So, okay, so search for change what closing the lid does. We search for this, and then it'll come up with this screen here. Make sure that you do this. When I press the power button, whether it's on battery or plugged in, make sure you have it set to hibernate, not sleep. So by default, it's I think it's sleep, but make sure it's actually set to hibernate instead. So yeah, the problem is whenever this machine goes to sleep, this issue will happen again, and then basically you won't be able to really fix it because it'll just keep happening. So make sure that actually hibernates instead of sleeping. So that's pretty much what I did, and after you do that, just restart the machine. And after I did that, yeah, like that just fixed the issue for me. So now my controllers and everything are working again. So yeah, mouse and keyboard is working, and then when I switch it to gamepad mode, that works too when I'm inside a game. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Basically, the three things you need to do are re-enable the device descriptor failed thing, or disable and re-enable it, and then make sure that you have it set to hibernate here, whether you're on battery or plugged in, what the power button does. So make sure that your power button actually hibernates instead of putting it to sleep, and then make sure that your computer never goes to sleep, basically, is the three things I did. Yeah, so once I did that, make sure that my Win 3 never goes to sleep, so I never actually really have this issue. Again, I'm not sure if this will work for all of you, but this is what worked for me. So I didn't have to take the machine apart. I didn't have to go into the BIOS to adjust any settings. I just had to go into some menu options in the software and change some stuff. Make sure that it never goes to sleep, and just re-enable the device descriptor failed, and then do a restart. And then that's what fixed it for me. So hope you guys fix your issues, and hopefully that works for you. So this is the issue. I just upgraded my GPD Win 3 to Windows 11, and now the controller is not working anymore. So I have it set to the keyboard and mouse right now, and yeah, nothing works. I can't move any cursor around. None of the buttons work. If I switch to gamepad mode, it also doesn't work when I'm in any game. It's like it doesn't detect it at all. But yeah, even in mouse and keyboard mode, yeah, it doesn't work. So the only way I can interact with the device right now is with the touch screen. So here's how I'm going to fix it. So just like with before, I'm going to open up the device manager here and see if I go down to Universal Serial Bus Controllers, it says unknown USB device descriptor request failed. That's what it says right now. So I'm going to do this. So right now I can't use my mouse and keyboard, right? Or actually I can use my keyboard, but I can't use my mouse, or none of my control buttons are working. So I'm going to disable this device. Make sure I click the right one. Okay, disable it. Alright, and this is device descriptor request failed, right? And now I'm going to enable it again. Okay, so once I enable it again, okay, see how it's working now? So yeah, now it works. So basically that's how I'm going to fix it. So now everything is working again. So yeah, pretty much the Windows 11 upgrade did it. It kind of like disabled my my mouse and my controller. Like all my buttons were disabled again. I just had to go back in Device Manager. Then I saw that device descriptor failed thing, and just had to re-enable it again. Okay, so I just had to check my other settings, make sure that my device goes to sleep never, because yeah, when it sleeps, it just basically resets that USB descriptor device thing again. So make sure that my device never sleeps, and also I'm going to check to make sure that when I press the power button, it always goes to hibernate and not sleep. So I got to make sure this is not sleep. If it goes to hibernate, it's fine, but when it sleeps, it resets that USB device thing. So then it stops working again. And I got to, do that whole re-enabling thing again. So yeah, I think now it should work. I got my cursor moving around now. Nice. Now I'm going to play a game. Let's just check out Ghost Recon here. Wildlands. And to make sure that my controller is working as well. Alright, so just got to test to make sure that my controller and keyboard switch is working here. So right now I'm in mouse and keyboard mode. As you can see, I can move my cursor, so mouse and keyboard settings working. Then just got to switch here, controller mode, and now, yeah, now my controller is working as well. See, my D-pad is working here. So yeah, I think, and then my analog stick works as well. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. I just got to do that one little thing, which is, yeah, disable the device descriptor fail thing and re-enable it, and that's pretty much all I got to do. So yeah, yeah, that's it. Just make sure this works. Yep, see, everything works. And yeah, that's it. That's basically how you solve that issue.